Alright, forgive me for the quality ahead of time. I am trying something different. I'm going to use this $21 Android prepaid special phone I got from Best Buy. And the reason why I call this thing special is because, well, I only got it just so I can have something that's Android related to screw around with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test it out by making more or less, I guess, a build video, build log, or whatever you call it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my secondary desktop, which is this thing right here, and basically repackage it into a smaller form factor, i.e. the same thing I did with my little desktop, with my main desktop right here. All this is right here is just a coffee maker box, and I was able to repackage my main desktop into this little EB box. So right now it's quite small. So I'm going to do the same with this one. Now this is my secondary, so I can just use any cardboard box I want. And the cardboard box I'm going to use is this Amazon box that I got when my inflatable bed came in. And the main reason why I got an inflatable bed is because the $200 foam mattress bed I got is a piece of shite. And I actually slept on this thing just fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Amazon box that my inflatable bed came in. And basically I'm going to put all the electronics, motherboard, power supply, whenever I can, from this desktop case here, into this guy right here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spray paint it black. I'm going to let it dry out, and I'll come back when I tear this thing apart. Stupid phone, turn off. Alright, I'm back, and I can already tell the video is going to look like shite. But I pulled out the motherboard, little cheap 210 video card, PSU, and one DVD drive. I have two DVD drives, but for the sake of this small box, I'm just going to use one. And of course, the hard drive right there. And of course, first thing I did was make a little custom foam padding bracer plate thing for the motherboard so it doesn't shock itself. I do this even if it's on cardboard, my personal preference. And of course, PSU, let's see. As of right now, I am cutting out all the I/O ports. I'll be trimming this box down. I'll be trimming this box down quite a bit so it won't be as tall. It won't be as tall or whatever this is. Whatever vertical this is right now. It's going to be a little shorter. And it's still going to look like a cardboard box, but it's going to look a little bit more nicer when I'm done, to an extent. So I'll come back when I'm about near done with this build. It's currently almost 7 my time, so it'll definitely be nighttime by the time I cut out all the I/O holes, trim the box down to what I want, put everything inside the case, and everything else. Alright, it's 9:09 my time as of this recording, and I'm doing more or less a pre-test to make sure everything's up and running before I cut out all the I/O ports for the stuff on the front. And before I fully close this thing up, I'm also going to do a little bit of reinforcement right here. That way, so when I place my main desktop on this thing, it won't basically implode upon itself. As you can tell, this is how my setup's going to be pretty much. I have one big old fan in the front that's spinning at half throttle. That way so it doesn't make much noise. I have a whole open area right here for USB ports, like the card reader that this thing came with, and the power, where the little power switch, which is that little wire thing right there, is going to go right here. And that's about it. I'll come back when I more or less got this thing prepped up for putting back in my room. Alright, so before I finish up the last part of this video, I want to explain something. You may have noticed that a lot of my videos have been removed from my YouTube channel. That is because I'm going to now start making my YouTube channel dedicated to my creations or my builds and other stuff. I removed nearly every single APP video. I removed almost every single music video I've made, i.e. because Japan doesn't understand our copyright system, even though My videos are in the right. I'm going to remove them now to stop me from getting our stupid copyright strike. Don't need to go through that again all over on my channel again. I already got my channel back once already. Thank goodness. I don't need to lose it again. And that's pretty much that. But on to this. So I got the computer. So I got everything made up. I got the reinforcement bar. I got the braces put on. I already did a couple pre-firings. I've attached the card reader and USB ports. I've attached the FireWire and mic and headphone jack here. Unfortunately, I do not have any ports saved in here for the little FireWire cable, which is this little blue thing right here, that little blue thing right there. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna boot this thing up and see what happens. It's quiet. A lot more quiet than it usually was. The hard drive's still humming, which is right in here, but it's not humming like it used to, because when it was in its original case, there was a massive hard drive hum that was just driving me nuts. So that's the main reason why I went to build this case. But I can already tell that this computer is up and running and working correctly. I can hear the hard drive beating away. This little LED indicator light's doing its job. Now, of course, I have it. So of course, I can put some other indicators in here, which unfortunately you guys probably really can't see the plug. But there's a little plug right where that little where the red and white wires are to let me have a hard drive indicator and everything. I might put a hard drive indicator light in here, but for right now, it's doing just fine. I'm gonna let this computer fully boot up and sit for a bit. But pretty much, this thing's already done. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop it here, and I'm going to come back when I actually get my computer set up, or get my computers all reset up. And I'll show you how I have everything set up. Alright, got both computers set up. They're all both fired up and still working. This one, my secondary, which is the main big box right here, does not have internet yet, because unfortunately the Ethernet cable I used for it was just too short. But luckily that's easily fixed. All I gotta do is just take it apart, basically cut it, and then just add some more extra wiring to it and it's good to go. As you can tell, this is how I have my computer. This is how I have my two computers set up now. The secondary is on top, is on the bottom, and the main's on the top. I had to add a little bracer system because this thing was a little bit too, because this guy was too fat. So I added a little bracer system. But now my main desktop can breathe. And of course, if I started turning this secondary into a gaming desktop too, I'll end up adding more vents and probably another fan or two. But as of right now, I only have this little GeForce 210 video card, and that thing can run pretty damn hot before my computer blue screens. So I'm pretty sure with the current setup, with the current way I have this configuration, this little secondary computer will do just fine. I can play virtual novels on my secondary just fine, same thing with my first, but main reason why I have my secondary is for like simple web browsing, simple videos, maybe a virtual novel or two, but that's about it. But mainly I want to make my station a lot more smaller, and mainly so my main desktop can breathe a lot more easily, because it was originally like right up to here. So with the way it is right now, there's a lot of air that can just go throughout and just help this computer breathe. But yeah, there's my new setup, and now I'm going to continue on my deleting of YouTube videos I don't need on my channel, and I don't know what else I'll do. Oh yeah, I forgot to also post this, and actually not. Dang it! So I was about to go and more or less edit the video together, and I just figured out one thing. I failed at one thing, and that was the mounting of the two USB ports. Normally, more or less, basically, normally they'll plug in a USB port top side, which this is top side. This is what the bottom looks like. And as you can tell, it doesn't want to go in. I have to flip it. Which basically means I accidentally, when I hot glued in the USB ports, right? When I hot glued in the two USB ports here, they're upside down. So it's a failure upon my part, but it's not a massive breaking failure or anything like that. I'll just have to remember to reverse the USB cable or USB stick I plug into this thing. But pretty much, yeah. I mean, other than that one little failure, this computer is pretty much done and ready to roll. The computer setup I got is pretty much done and ready to roll. I mean, right now I'm copying over a right now on my desktop I'm about to copy over a stupid virtual novel.